I've waited 2 years to have this view outside my window, to have that pier out there, out my window. Mad person that I am.
Now, if you've ever heard of this seaside town before, you might be asking, why? Why, after everything you've accomplished in Infinity, did you choose this place as your first intended stop? Well, because far too many people have that exact mindset. Weston-Super-Mare is a seaside town in Somerset, UK, located 23 miles away from the bustling city of Bristol. The town was once a vibrant Victorian resort. However, public opinion of the place has somewhat changed in recent years. Countless videos on YouTube will have you focus on how sensationally bad the once smile-in-smiling Somerset can be, often finding the rougher-looking characters and areas of the town and framing it as if that's all there is. But there's another side to Weston-Super-Mare. I'm here to offer a new perspective on the place, one that sees the desolation and dilapidation of Weston's aged Victorian townscape as untouched, unspoiled architectural beauty, free from the commercial conversion that so many other places fall victim to. Where some see outdated and tacky greasy spoon diners, I see the most kind and warm-hearted families working together to give you a good meal with a smile.
That is what I call a mug of tea.
And where many see a town that's long since fallen from its glory days, I've found a community that's on the rise, closer knit and more welcoming than any other I've seen before. Filled with eccentrics, artists, ancient hidden gardens, and stunning Leviathanic structures.
I won't lie, I'm in heaven. Absolute heaven.
And I'm about to take you with me. Welcome to the fall and rise of Weston-Super-Mare. Standing dormant on the northern edge of the town, a monstrous colossus waits in derelict patience. Her elegant rusted legs cling to the rocks below, moaning and buckling when Mr. Sun paints the landscape with his golden brush. Her buildings, once beloved by all who marvelled at her beauty, now lie in ruin, their wooden beams piercing and stabbing inward alongside their collapsed brethren. What remains of the town's former pride and joy is little more than a hollow facade, racked by the intense waves that batter her from the side. Her name is Birnbeck Pier, and I've been documenting her for years. She's had a long and fascinating history. Opening on June the 5th, 1867, Birnbeck was once the pride of Weston-Super-Mare, with a steam-powered fun fair and countless other incredible attractions to delight her Victorian guests when they made the journey to her secluded island. They could either come by foot by means of the lush and elegantly designed main walkway, or by sea on the countless steamers that visited her North Jetty from Cardiff, Clevedon and Penarth. The town was so immensely proud of what they'd built that on opening day, Weston declared itself a public holiday, so that everyone could go out and enjoy all that Birnbeck had to offer. With a cafe, pavilion, amusements and funfair, many of the Victorians who set foot on Birnbeck never actually left the pier to visit Weston town. Birnbeck had everything they wanted and more. But it was not to last. Fast forwarding through the years, Birnbeck stood strong throughout the most turbulent decades in human history, even being taken over by the Admiralty in 1941 to be used for secret weapons development and storage with testing. What? But when she tried to resume her life as a tourist attraction, not just the world, but Weston had changed dramatically. Competition from the brash and gaudy Grand Pier further down the seafront was too much to ignore. Couple that with the rise of cheap foreign holidays in the 1960s and regular ferries ceasing to serve Birnbeck by the early 70s, and it's no wonder she foundered. By 1994, Birnbeck was closed to the public for safety reasons after several storms had left her battered, bruised, and brittle. The RNLI stuck it out at the lifeboat station until 2015, but by that point, Birnbeck had become so unsafe that they had to throw in the towel and move off the island. Since then, she's laid quiet, uninhabited, untouched, and awaiting an unknown future.
I don't know what it is about this place. It begs you to stop. It compels you to slow down. I don't think I've ever felt more alive than I am right now. This moment right here is just so special. This is everything I want to do. I got emotional when I came here, but man, it's a whole different thing. You know, standing where you want to be, looking out at that. I honestly don't think I've felt more alive in my entire life than I do in this moment right here, right now. It's gorgeous out here. Stunning. One of the most shocking things about Birnbeck Pier is that she's in such a state of disrepair that pieces of her are lying here on the beach below. The landscape is littered with stuff like this. Big rusty metal chunks of Victorian iron with Weston-Super-Mare still inscribed on it, paint still chipping away and off it. This is a fragment of one of the swan necks, and obviously the piece that held it on. Just the size of this thing, it's impossible to understand how big it is and how heavy it is. And it's come down from there, most likely over there, and it's just been washed over here over time by the sheer force of water. It's incredible. I mean, just look at this thing. Birnbeck was designed by Eugenius Birch and took only 3 years to build. It's an incredibly elegant structure when you look at it. I mean, when you think about most piers, they just have, you know, 2 main supporting legs and then the cross members, and it's not necessarily really designed to be pleasing to the eye, but Birnbeck is. The whole structure, like the legs and the swan neck seat support and the poles going down and the little balconies that come out and all the crisscrossing metal, I mean, it's just incredible. I hate to say marvel, but it's a marvel of engineering, but also design, both working hand in hand to create something elegant and unique and sophisticated on the Weston-Super-Mare seafront. Not to mention its position on the coastline, where the water comes in so incredibly fast and visceral and violently that every wave slams straight into Birnbeck sideways on. It's a wonder that it's still standing here today.
As the evening went on and the deep orange sun went down behind the pier, I set up camp, making my first ever meal in Ulendo and settling down to sleep. Because the next day I'd be venturing deeper into Weston's history, making my way down its winding coastal wall into the town. and I couldn't wait.
Good morning from within Ulendo, from the first night. This is what it's all about, being able to wake up in places like this and see that from outside your window. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna make breakfast and then I'm gonna decide where I'm going next. And then let's go explore Weston-Super-Mare. Okay. 3, 2. Don't calm down, that's stupid. Gotta use this, because of course I do. It is cold. Anyone coming along for a nice morning walk is gonna be quite surprised.
I want ravioli. I came here for a balanced three-course meal. Ravioli, ravioli, and ravioli. Is that clear? Si, signore. Ravioli, signorina. Thank you. That looks delicious.
You all right, Mr. Perrin?
Yes, of course I am. Why?
You said you had a letter for me and you haven't spoken for 10 minutes.
I've decided to take this book with me as a sort of guide. I think it'll help me navigate my way around the secret passageways and the unknown alleyways of Weston-Super-Mare town. It's called Weston-Super-Mare in watercolours, revisited, and it's got these beautiful illustrations of the entirety of Weston-Super-Mare, from Birnbeck Pier to the Grand Pier to the front and back pages being completely covered with an entire map of Weston-Super-Mare to the north and then Weston-Super-Mare to the south. So I'm going to start off from here in Birnbeck Pier and work my way down Anchor Head and use the book as a guide. Let's see what we find.
Making my way down the cracked stone stairways of Anchor Head, I really felt like I'd entered another world. Wooden doors that have been locked for years stand recessed into the natural rock. The swooping, winding sea wall curves round to guide you into the town as you pass by the Victorian bins, still in their emerald green and gold-lined paint, a colour scheme synonymous with the town. As you walk down the promenade, the bustling noise of the Grand Pier and its patrons draw nearer. The smell of fish and chips, candy floss, and the whirling, flashing barrage of colourful lights bring an urgency to it all that overwhelms the senses. But this isn't what I'm interested in. No, the real attraction comes once you enter the town's silent, secretive streets that keep to themselves in comparison to the loud, attention-commanding seafront. The businesses that lie here, whether still thriving or long since closed down, have a dignified, time warp-esque antiquity to them. One such place is right next to the seafront on St. James's Street. Hidden behind a derelict facade of Victorian hotels and houses, it's a former Greek restaurant turned English diner by a hard-working mother and daughter called the Golden Fleece.
Thank you. How are you today?
All right, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Has it been busy so far?
No, we've been a bit quieter this morning for some reason.
All right.
Yeah.
This cavity is huge.
No.
Look at the size of that.
Oh,
Now that is what, and it's full up to the brim as well. That is what I call a mug of tea.
This is Linda, the owner, and her daughter Sam makes everything in the back. Though to many this place looks dated and out of touch, to me that's not a bad thing. I'd take the character of this place over a bland white and grey almond milk serving cafe any day. Even the prices are old-fashioned, with a normal-sized English breakfast coming in at about £5, and one 3 times larger only a little over £10, including a hot drink. The Golden Fleece is definitely worth a visit if you want the best full English you'll ever taste in your life. Whilst the atmosphere is quiet, friendly locals will gladly chat with you and tell you their wild seaside town escapades.
Well, I suppose he was a professional soldier.
Oh, right.
Actually, father comes back in his uniform, and he's got a whole bag of stuff, nothing. There's chocolate.
Pair that with Linda having all the warmth and love of a grandma baking her grandchild cookies,
There we go, Dad.
Thank you very much.
and you've got a place that's easy to fall in love with. Having soaked in the atmosphere of the time-warp Golden Fleece and thoroughly enjoyed my breakfast, it was time to explore the shops. Venturing deeper into the alleys of Weston, I found more remnants of my favourite era. One highlight being the Revolver record shop in an otherwise silent row of houses. This place was incredible. Walking in there with my chewed-up brown corduroy flares on and a polyester shirt, I flicked through the seemingly endless rows of music history before walking away with a couple of Shawaddy singles. Absolutely fantastic. Next, I came across C&J's Little Shop of All Sorts, a curious wonder emporium of colour, offering all different kinds of art pieces, prints, clothes, and, well, all sorts. The owner, Jules, is an artist herself, mostly painting jaw-dropping photorealistic pieces of various wild animals, her personal favourite being her gorilla. Jules and I quickly struck up a friendship, as her outlook on life is, why frown when you can smile?
Can I ask what your other... Because now you've said Bay City Rollers and Shawaddy, I want to know what else you had on vinyl, like what else you were into. Lay it on me, Jules. Go on.
I just literally everything that came out in the charts that was like number one and that through going up into the 90s and everything. I used to just to buy the one that was number one. I used to just
So like David Soul and...
Oh yeah, just like everything like that. And I had them all, and I took them. If I told you what I sold them at the car boot sale, you'd say Jules. But like I was doing them like 50p each, and they all went like in 20 minutes.
And when was this? Like in the 80s?
No, I sewed these probably about 10 years ago at Cheddar Car Boot Sale.
Jules!
I needed the money for something, and I thought, I got in my attic, I've got a stash of single records, and and they were just, I thought, well, these are popular. This is like 10, 20, I'll have these, and then they were all gone, and then...
Have you sold them all?
I took them all, yeah.
Damn it.
She's an outgoing, kind-hearted, and exuberant character who spreads peace, love, and positivity wherever she finds herself. Who also wants an orange camper van.
Did you get your dream van yet?
Not yet. It's definitely, once the house is finished, like I said, it was on the plans.
Yes.
When my son did the mock-up of the house as it was going to look, with the orange camper
with
van
the
on
bay
it.
orange camper.
I know, so yeah, absolutely.
What a woman! Returning to the high street, I came across the talented Michael, who, sitting on his modest red amplifier, punched a hole in the sky with his 1959 Les Paul. Lovely guitar, black and gold.
1959.
Oh, lovely.
59.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your voice down.
about this place, with its cobblestone pathways and rusted gates. The sandstone sentinels that look out to sea. At anchor's head they stand silently. Spare some change for the artists who spend their lives here, entertaining, painting, providing for all who come near, in a town so old and rich in its deep history. You'll find secret alleyways of yesterday's mystery. Though many look down on it with a scrutinizing glare, what remains here, I've found, is a lively town with flair. So go exploring and get lost in its wear and tear, and you may find more character in Weston-Super-Mare. Having thoroughly enjoyed Michael's insane improvisational skills, I journeyed onward, eventually winding up in an obscure indoor market with some marvellously eccentric characters.
The indoor market.
Yes, go
It's
for
been a
it.
market since Edwardian times.
Yeah.
This was formerly a shed for poultry, storing of poultry. So you've noticed as soon as you come in that the ambient temperature in here is in fact a lot cooler than the outside.
Yeah.
And I'll show you a photograph that actually kind of demonstrates why that had to be. So this is the market, circa 1904.
All right.
We know that we can date it because the tradespeople are wearing bowler hats and they're wearing these particular style of aprons.
Yeah.
Now the thing is about women's fashions is that the hemlines either rise or fall, and gentlemen's lapels either widen or narrow. So we can actually date this. This gentleman is wearing an Albert chain here, and the style of his collar is Edwardian. So we can actually pick out all of these things. Also, this hat is a very good indicator. So we're thinking of like probably getting it down to sort of like 1904. So, you know, 120 years old.
Wow.
In wintertime, it gets really, really cold.
I imagine.
But as Mel says, and Mel's in the corner here.
Hello.
So this is Mel.
My goodness, hi Mel.
This is Infinity.
Hi Mel, sorry, I've never been in here, and it just, wow, like, I've just been hit with amazing, like, decor and attention to detail. There's so much to look at. Sorry, I'm making a film on Weston-Super-Mare because I'm in love with the town. I come from Bath, and I think people on YouTube far too often talk about kind of, you know, how run down Weston is, but I don't think that's right. So I'm going to make a video saying how amazing Weston is. And of course, he pointed me directly to you, so Mel, you must be the highlight of Weston-Super-Mare.
Not sure about the highlight. I'm light.
I love the cafe. Are you the owner?
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, cafe and tea room.
Yeah.
No, Weston's a great place though, isn't it?
Well, we like
Architecture, community.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Colourful characters. 2 theatres.
2 different aspects. You've got Ron, who was born here, and has been away and come back to it. So there's an affection. And then you've got me, who chose it. You know, could have lived anywhere in the world, and yeah, chose Weston.
Good. Any reason why?
Every reason. No, yeah, I literally could have picked anywhere, but it ticked all the boxes. It's a
Wonderful.
great place, yeah.
Particularly this bit.
Yeah, this
Grove
part of town.
Village.
Grove Village is it's totally a different identity. If you go to Uphill, I like Uphill as well, but the bit in the middle I'm not so keen on. Really, and that's why I live hillside, up the top by the woods.
Well,
There's
like,
so
that's
much history here, and people do overlook it, don't they?
They do.
But that's perhaps a good thing, because it would become like bar.
the thing is, that's so funny because that's exactly the reason why I'm making the video, to prove how much better Weston is in many ways than World Heritage Bath, which I grew up in, because all their beautiful Edwardian buildings are full of Primarks and Poundlands, whereas these ones are, still full of characters and independent shops, Mel,
Lovely to meet you.
I can't believe
and enjoy
I've
your
met
travels.
you. Thank you so much. You've honestly made my day. You've literally you've naturally said the point of the entire video, just naturally. Fantastic.
It's a great place, enjoy it.
Thank you, I will do.
We get people of like-mindedness, and we actually kind of generate that.
Yeah.
This gentleman here can tell you about what he's just arrived. These two people are new to us.
Oh right, new
they're-
stalls.
They're,
Okay.
they're the new blood, basically, because
God, don't let the vampires get you.
Oh no, I'm keeping it. I've got my garlic back here.
you only actually get beauty from chaos, I think, anyway.
Agreed.
That's what I believe.
Agreed. I was going to say, when I was walking in here yesterday, I just smelt the stall and I was like, oh, I love it.
That's good.
So it looks gorgeous. I love the ivy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind chatting about your lovely little piece in here, like your little room.
You see, the thing is, if you have a record shop, it's a bit like buy me, I sell records. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we actually kind of made an installation? So the idea, I can remember my 17-year-old bedroom just being full of records, full of clutter.
Yep.
Probably half-eaten sandwiches, a pizza that would probably been used as a pillow.
A bottle of Tab.
New Tab, the Diet Cola from the Coca-Cola Company.
And I mean, I still have sort of odd things in here, like somebody says, why have you got drinks and things in here? I don't use it. It's kind of like props, strange kind of memorabilia, things to do with the Beatles, because the Beatles really touched the hearts of Westonians in 1963. Around about this time of year, June 1963, the Beatles came. They were here for a whole week. They played I Want to Hold Your Hand. I can't remember what the second song was because I couldn't hear it because of all the screaming of the girls. And I just wanted it to stop. I would put my hands over my ears, and all I wanted was for Flash Gordon to appear.
It's my last day here in Weston-Super-Mare, and I've got to say I've had a really good time here. I've had a really good time. I've seen rally choppers and met the locals, and all of which are just characters. You have to remember, places and people aren't just one thing. Every person is an individual, every place is an individual. And I don't think it's fair to write off a seaside town in Britain as just bad because it is old. Truth is, Weston-Super-Mare is a place full of character, with wonderful locals who are welcoming, warm and friendly to meet and chat with. The tourists that come here are excited to be here because this is their holiday, so, naturally they're very smiley. The architecture is both modern, if you like that sort of thing, but also old, Victorian and truly regal in its scope and its size and its design. Everything is really regal here. It really screams that air of Victorian seaside town with history. It's not a place that's just crumbling away like the pier out there. Because even that, in its derelict state, even that has its beauty. That weatheredness that we need in order to feel as though we're living in, the real world. And Weston is full of that. It's not dirty and grimy and disgusting in its decadence. It's historic and pure and untouched. Music rings out from every street as several different buskers are all playing a variety of instruments and different musical styles, and there's just such a life to this place, especially on a sunny weekend. This town really comes alive in its architecture and its atmosphere. It really is a wonderful place.
What do you think of Weston-Super-Mare?
Well, personally, I actually do prefer the nicer, older parts to Weston.
Oh, good.
And I think that there's a push at the moment to restoring lots of the old features. particularly around the marine lake. It's really nice and peaceful, nice and warm.
Yeah.
You can relax there and just get away from the hustle and bustle of real life. So yeah, love it.
We'd like to make it more popular, but I suppose it's like anything really. Don't change a thing unless it's broken. And it's certainly not broken. What you were saying earlier about identity, people that were born here, people that have come here, like Mel said, it can be a magnet for people, or it can be just a place to produce people that will then be the diaspora. They'll go everywhere in the world, sort of thing. I love it because it doesn't have things. I like it because it is what it is. I don't want to change it. I want to see it evolve.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say, oh, that's got to go and this has got to come in. Just let it evolve naturally. That's really what the love is about for this particular area. So if you don't love it, well, if this town doesn't please you, maybe this town isn't right for you. And maybe this town doesn't really need you.
This journey so far has been everything I've hoped it would be. Weston-Super-Mare has kind of set the standard almost for everywhere else I'm going to go. And there are plenty of other places I've got in mind that are amazing. But I'm really glad that this one lived up to the 2-year-long hype that I've been cultivating in my head. Now, on with the next journey. On with the next adventure. Let's see what horizons we can find.